Ooh, this is exotic. Muscle Cat Media. Nice. Cultural.
Okay, getting you set for round number 5 of Destiny Draft as we approach the second half of the season. But as Spoon and I have talked about ad nauseum, it's not really the second half, is it? It's the final 2/5 of the Major League Baseball regular season. And joining you in a bit of a foul mood. Like, Mondays suck in general, but when the Cardinals blow a 7-run lead in a team that they're in a wild card race against on the road, it makes Mondays a little bit shittier. But look, hopefully we can lift the mood and Team Rolsey can do something from Destiny Draft. We do have a new listener that's going to be the listener pick. The listener spot is in a really good place. So shout out to the previous listeners in Grom, the Canary, the Commissioner, and Uncle Ibo, who got a win in round number 4. Before we introduce today's guest, I'll say hello to the fellas. Eric and Spoon, how we doing?
Dude, I feel for you. But I also am excited for Spoon because, look, Spoon, man, if the Cardinals make the playoffs by like a game, you are going to look back and be like, oh my God, that random Monday morning when the Diamondbacks came back and scored 8 unanswered, just deflated a team. They're like, this is the one you look back on and say, this is when things turned around and when we made the playoffs, and you can circle it back there. On the other side, Rolsey, oh my God. You missed the playoffs by 1 game. This is the one you look back at. It's interesting. I got 2 of my buddies in the room. One, it could be a turning point. The other one, it could be the breaking point, and the Blue Jays suck.
It's pretty funny. They were talking about it on the broadcast as it was sort of, coming to life a little bit, the comeback. And they said it was going to tie a franchise record for biggest ever comeback with another 7-0 comeback, which was in 2022. And I know we're not that old an organization, but it's kind of crazy. It's happened twice in 4 years. But it happened last time on the day that Corbin Carroll debuted. And then it happened this time on the day that Corbin Carroll goes to the IL for the next 60 days. So, look, it can kind of go both ways. We actually won that game 13-7, so Rolsey got off lightly today.
I pity you, Rolsey, and I'm excited for you, Spoon, but it's just hilarious because the Diamondbacks, the most Diamondbacks thing ever to do would be go get swept by the Athletics.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're too far from 500 right now. It doesn't feel right.
Like, it's just going to happen. And the Cardinals will go sweep the Angels and give a good false sense of economy again and all that kind of fun stuff. And the Padres
we
will
randomly
win 14
play
in a
the
row.
D-backs again in like a makeup game in St. Louis while the D-backs are like on their way to Cleveland or something next week. And it's funny because Chip Carey was like, while it was 7-0, he was like, Cardinals fans can come out and see Nolan Arenado maybe one last time at Busch Stadium. And then after he hit a home run to tie it, he was like, Cardinals fans can come out and boo Nolan Arenado one last time at Busch Stadium. Like, it feels a bit that way, but I mean, it's kind of a cool little rivalry.
That game was going to be the season series decider, right? Whereas now that's kind of locked up for the D-backs, which is, as Eric said, could loom large.
I'm just happy your team are scoring runs, man. Like, I watched the Jays the last 2 games, and I saw them score a combined 1 run versus the Chicago White Sox at home.
Yeah, the vibes are finally bad.
They were worse than my Destiny Draft team last round, and I had 6 points in 2 weeks. I was looking at my chart of the last Destiny Draft, and it's so funny, right? It wasn't even like an ebbs and flows thing. Like, I had a good day, then a bad day. It was just like one flat line had like slowly moving up to 6 points, which is exceptionally hard to do. Like, you guys both had players that had over 6 points in a day. Like, I was the definition of non-competitive. It was crazy.
Yeah, looking back at you like being flatlined in round 4 is a funny thing where there's just like this battle happening at the top in a 3-horse race that, again, I inevitably lost, but you're just kind of tricking along in your own race at the bottom of the graph. Hey, look, let's introduce our guest for round number 5, who is equally as depressed as I am following that St. Louis Cardinals loss. JT is our guest picker for round number 5. JT, hello, my friend.
Morning, boys. How you doing?
We were talking last week about just one-line text messages about how, if one person's out of the loop and in a group message, you're just sending a bunch of like random F this and whatever. That was JT this morning to me. This morning, Australia time, while we were both watching that St. Louis Cardinals game. Because JT is also a diehard St. Louis man, as I am myself.
Yeah,
Go
I was right in the
Blues.
middle of watching the World Cup game, actually, World Cup final, and was getting the score updates and thought I didn't have to watch the rest of the game because it was, 7-0, but bad idea. Once it got to the 10th inning, I knew to turn it off.
It's just, yeah. And then JT thought he'd be cheeky and said he hoped that Spoon pulls a Ryan Stanek card today, which if that happens, I think you'll be depositing that directly in the bin, either left or right to you, Spoon. So
I have a question on Ryan Stanek for my Cardinals
Sure.
guys. Does every fan base have a reliever that they just absolutely hate? Like, obviously,
Usually,
in Toronto,
We have like
Yeah.
5.
Like in Toronto, it's Jeff Hoffman, right? And like I understand the pain, but like Hoffman in June was like literally statistically a top 3 reliever. He allowed 1 run over the outings. He was one of the best setup guys. He was dominant. Like he went on a big stretch. He had 1 game where he allowed like 1 run, and everyone's like, he's the worst dude in the entire world. I hate him. It's like, dude allows 1 run in 13 innings, and that's the. But I understand kind of the treatment there, but Ryan Stanek's obviously that for you. But does every fan base have that? Can we do it?
It's like being a kicker. It's like being a kicker in football, right? Like you miss a point after attempt. It's like, dude, you need to be cut. Like, where did we find this guy? This guy's a bum. Doesn't matter if he's going at like 98% up until then.
Like Stanek's not that bad
I mean, compared to what?
compared
Me.
compared to. I mean, it's just when he's bad, he's really bad, right?
Yeah, which is most of the time.
I feel like that's harsh on him.
He struggles to throw strikes, which is not really a trait you want as a relief pitcher. I mean, he has a WAR.
Dude.
Like he has a negative WAR this season.
Okay, obviously a bad day before that, but then I'm just pulling up his chart here. July 12th, 1 inning, no runs. July 10th, 1 inning, no runs. July 6th, 1 inning, no runs. July 4th, 1 inning, no runs. July 3rd, 1 inning, no runs. June 28th, 2/3 of an inning, no run. He did allow a run in 2/3 on June 22nd. June 21st, no runs. 16th, no run. 13th, no runs. Like there was a stretch of like 9 of 10 games where he didn't allow one. June 12th, he gave up that 3 spot, but before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight outings before that where he didn't allow an earned run, right? Like you look at his game logs, it's like 1 every 9 games. It is spectacularly bad and in the worst of situations, but he's actually pretty good outside. Like I feel like he's like the Jeff Hoffman equivalent. Like you guys are
But
bagging
he's
on
always in
Stan.
trouble, so he doesn't necessarily always give a run up, but he always puts a base runner on. Either walks a guy, he gives up a base hit. It feels like, and I mean, JT probably will be able to back me on this. It always feels like he puts himself in trouble. And yeah, he's able to get his way out of it, but it's like he always makes things way more difficult than what they should be. If it's a 4-run lead, he'll inevitably give up 2 to make it a 2-run game. If it's a 2-run game, he'll put 3 guys on and find a way to get out of it. Like it's just the way that there's no easy inning when Ryan Stanek, and
No
he's an
comfort
Arkansas
level
guy, so it's
No
like
com-
like it's again like it's got a Razorback hat on because I had to take my Cardinal hat off.
Poor Ryan Stanek.
Once they sent Ryan Fernandez down, Ryan Stanek was the next guy up to be the most hated man in the Cardinals dugout.
Yeah, Fernandez was the guy previously because, I mean, he was struggling keeping his ERA under 10. As soon as he would do that, he would have an awful outing and it would balloon back out to a double-digit earned run average. But anyways, we've lamented enough. The Cardinal season is over, just as the West Tigers is. I mean, we were talking about the Blue Jays not being able to score. You know what it's like to be a West Tigers fan. My football team hasn't scored in 7 weeks. Baseball team's collapsing. Let's hope that Rollsy's Destiny draft team can start to climb the leaderboard. Spoon, give the folks a refresher on how we do things around here, and then let's get to ripping open packs.
Alrighty, so I've got 3 freshly sealed packs of 2026 Top Series 1. Probably need to get into some Top Series 2 now that we're in the second half of the season. We're going to open all 3 packs. I got 12 cards each. There are some little fun mascot cards and team cards which won't be eligible for the pool. So normally we end up with about 30 player cards that we can draft from. Then we're each going to draft 3 players. We need to take 1 hitter, 1 pitcher, and 1 flex/utility, which can be one or the other. And then we're going to track their performance in the real world over the next couple of weeks as our own sort of fantasy league. And we'll get points based on how they go in that time frame. So For pitchers, you get a point for every 2 completed innings and a point for every strikeout, and you'll lose a point for every earned run. For a hitter, you'll get a point for every hit, run, and RBI, and you'll lose a point for every strikeout. I think that covers the basics, boys.
Straightforward. Let's do it. The whole recap, by the way, on baseballexpats.com if you really want to look into it.
All right, we ready to rip?
Do it.
Rollsy's been manifesting a Mizorowski card for about 8 weeks. Let's see if today's the day. Ooh. All right. Pack number 1, we've got Kyle Backus, D-backs relief pitcher, currently in AAA Reno. JT Ginn had a brilliant start yesterday for the A's. Brian Wu also had a quality start yesterday. Carson Wissenhunt, pitcher for the Giants. Is that 4 pitchers in a row? It is. Very pitcher heavy. Tyler Freeman from the Rockies. Michael Harris, the second from the Braves. Anthony Volpe, speaking of fan base punching bags. We've got the GOAT. We've got Mike Trout. We have Sawyer Gibson Long from the Tigers. We have a Miguel Vargas card that's pretty cool. Shiny and speckly and some kind of special one. He's playing first base for the White Sox, having a sneaky good season. We've got Robin Yount. Didn't he retire like 30 years ago?
Yeah, Robin Yount.
Yeah, so
I'm not even going to write him
buyer
down.
beware if you draft him.
We'll put him next to Jose Roque.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
like
help
if
my
he can do it so that it picks up his stat lines from like this time 40 years ago.
Yeah, parallel stat line.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, had 4 hits against the Indians. And then to round out pack number 1, we've got Juan Soto. It's a very strong first pack there, boys.
Yeah, some interesting names there for sure.
Sawyer Gibson Long is a very interesting name. He's not a good player, just an interesting name. All right, pack number 2. We've got, All right, we've got Ryan McMahon.
Oh, I thought you were going
We've
to say
got
Stanek.
Jacob Mizorowski. You're kidding.
Let's
No
go.
way.
Let's go, son. Yeah.
These are
I
rookie
get
cards
stick
as well,
first.
so I'll be checking that one in a sleeve and a top loader, no doubt. We've got a little athletics fun card that isn't eligible. We've got Adolis Garcia. This pool is cracked. This is easily going to be our best round ever, even on the names we've got already. We've got Dylan Beavers from the O's, Cole Young from the Mariners. Wow, we got Mason Miller from the Padres.
Wow.
This is cracked. We got Andrew McCutcheon, Jonathan Aranda, Maximo Acosta, another Adolis Garcia card. This one's a little bit more impressive, but it's the same guy. And then, boys, we've got Paul Skeens as well.
No way.
Oh,
This is the
bro.
this is the
What?
star-studded. JT's brought the fortune. I mean, last week we were diving through the dumpsters with the likes of Taylor Trammell and Jack Caglione.
We're all going to have a dude.
Yeah, we might have multiple.
That kind of sucks. In the time you get Miz, you'd be kind of hoping that there's not other good pitchers, so you just have this advantage. But
It's very
now-
rosy that like the
You're
one
like-
time he gets a good 1-1, they're all good.
yeah. Now it's just like, oh well, it doesn't matter. You can take it. Like now you actually have to think about it.
Yeah. We've got former member of the Canaries Fade 5, Brian Bayo. We've got O'Neill Cruz. Wow, we got Vladdy. This is cracked.
No, don't take him.
Brian Abreu, Addison Barger, my guy Chase Burns. Holy shit.
What? Chase
Dude.
Burns is on the list.
Mizorowski might not even go 1-1,
Whoa.
depending on schedule. This is nuts.
Sorry, Woolsey. That sucks.
We've got Yusei Kikuchi. I'm not sure he's still in the
I'm
league, is
taking
he?
him 1-1.
Felix Bautista, Trey Turner,
Wow.
Manny Fresh throwing first pitch at a Phillies game or a Guardians game. Who is this? He's a DJ and
He's a
rapper.
rapper, yeah.
All right.
I'll take
put
him.
him on the board as well.
1-1.
God damn it. We got Corbin Carroll as well, but I need to wait for news on his injury, so I don't think I can risk it, but I love my guy. Boys, that is easily the best 3 packs we've ever pulled. I mean, any of those packs was probably the best pack we pulled in the history of the show, and all 3 were bangers.
So we have 4 stud pitchers that are going to rack up points. Obviously, Chase Burns. By the way, did you guys see that he went to his contract signing and he spilled coffee all over his contract? So they had to
I didn't see
redo
that.
the
That's a
signing.
power play. That's a good way of saying up your offer.
So you got Miz, you got Burns, you got Miller, and you got Skeens. Like all of those dudes are studs.
Brian
feel like-
Wu.
I mean, we're gonna take a break and we'll dissect this all, but like, I feel like when you're taking a look at this at face value, there's a chance that each of us just go pitcher, pitcher, pitcher to start. Because if we don't, Spoon is going to get 2 elite pitchers on his turn on the 4-5, and we're freaked out here.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. Everybody have a breath. Console yourself. Go meditate. I actually have a cheese platter that I brought out for the occasion that I'm going to have a little bit of cheese and an apple, and I'm going to be ready to go to improve on my 6. Let's go.
Or as Spoon likes to say, money for a confectionery spread. We'll be back
in a
after
second.
this. Deary me. We were just doing the math on it there. It sounds like we've got 7 or 8 top 100 players. Like this, Spoon, you called it almost at the end of Pack 1, start of Pack 2, that this thing is cracked. Like this is going to be one where the undrafted leaderboard is probably going to be just as interesting as the drafted leaderboard, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to put a test to, the last few weeks we've been talking about how 2 pitchers seems to be the way forward. That's a very top-heavy pitcher pool, right? Like, we're all definitely going to get a dude, but whether you necessarily get a second dude over some of those crazy names we've got in the hitting pool, like Juan Soto, Corbin Carroll, Mike Trout, Michael Harris, Vladdy. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see which strategy we all employ.
Well, should we rock and roll?
Yep. Once again, Rosie, you are on the clock, round 1. It's like the Cleveland Browns turning up at draft night.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be the simplest 1-1 of all time. And he's pitching tomorrow, so he'll get 3 starts, and he's pitching against the Mets tomorrow. So 1-1, give me number 1 overall and the top player in Destiny Draft this year in Jacob Mizorowski.
While you've done that, and everyone should get on Christopher Sanchez to win the Cy Young, because with Mizorowski on Rosie's team, he's about to have 3 stinkers.
Yep.
And this is a tricky one for me, too, because there's some good options out there. Skeens is a really attractive name, but he pitched today. Chase Burns is going to start on Tuesday, and he is going to get 3 starts in all likelihood. Strikeout machine. He just signed the big ticket. He's been pitching really well lately. So I am going to ruin Chase Burns' career by selecting him with the 2nd overall.
Wow. Over Skeens.
We just did an episode as well talking about how he's flying for his strikeout futures. So between that and this Destiny Draft episode, we're very sorry to Chase Burns and his family.
But dude, Skeens is only going to pitch twice, like he pitched yesterday. So you're going to get 2 starts out of Skeens. Now they could be huge starts, right? Like those could be 2 10, 11-point starts. But Burns could go 3 9-point starts. And my math isn't great because I only had 6 points in the last draft. But that's what I'm going to do.
JT, you're up.
Well, given all of that, I feel like I have to take Skeens just because you can't leave him on the board like that. And I've got some other pitchers in my head too that can possibly provide some firepower toward the latter half of the week. So I'm going to take Skeens first.
Yeah, that makes sense. I almost took Skeens. It was just like I said, that was just the tiebreaker of get an extra start at a Burns. Nothing against Skeens. That was literally going to be the 2.
I can't begin to put into words my disappointment that a guy called JT didn't take JT Gin, but that's a conversation for another day.
There's still 2 more rounds.
I was going to say, I just told you I got some eyes on other ones.
Look, this is tricky. I mean, as good as Mason Miller is, I don't love relief pitchers. And every time it's been tried in this, it hasn't really worked. Rosie started it with Class A last year, and I think he's had a couple relievers. I think he had Dylan Williams at one point this year, which was also another disaster class. So as much of a sexy name as he is, I think I'm going to leave him, which does thin the pitching pool out a little bit. Obviously, I need to take one. If I don't take a guy here and you guys mop up the crumbs, I'm going to be left with Felix Bautista or, God forbid, Kyle Backus. So it's between Wu and Jin, and both guys pitched yesterday. It's really tricky. I think Brian Wu's probably the safer pick. He's the consistent pick. He seems to really struggle on the road, though, so I don't know whether I'm only going to get 2 starts. I'm hoping they're both at home because his road stats this year have been very smelly. But with all that said, let's do it. I'm going to take Brian Wu.
Wow, 4 pitchers gone in round 1. Crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of just made a case for not taking all of these other guys. I mean, JT Jin was so good yesterday, but I don't love if I take 2 starting pitchers and I'm only going to get 4 starts out of them. Feels like that could be quite costly. So as much as I was saying at the start that, we're all going to take a couple of pitchers, I feel like I need to go with a guy that was built for Destiny Draft and the scoring system that was created. And ever since he's come back from injury, he's been playing at an MVP level, and he'd probably be right there in the betting if he hadn't missed time. So give me one, Soto.
Damn it.
JT?
Yep. So going through my list here, it says, well, I had Brian Wu was one of those pitchers I had my eye on. And now that you're talking about JT Jin, that's probably another pitcher that I probably need to take a look at. And I think given what's left, he's probably the one I need to go with in this case, just to give myself some chances of innings and strikeouts. So give me JT Jin.
That was
Interesting.
always going to happen, wasn't it? Is JT the first guy to draft a name of his namesake on Destiny's Draft?
There's not many Reeses in the bigs, so...
There's not many canaries either.
Interesting. Well, I can't believe I might do this.
You going to take Vladdy?
No. Hell no. Are you serious? You serious?
You going to take Kikuchi?
Well, no, I really want to take a guy. He's just been cold lately, so kind of torn. Like, he was so good in June, and in July he's kind of sputtered a little bit. And that's not good for Destiny Draft if you're striking out, but he is pulling pretty high on the old ranking board. Can I take Otto Lopez
Manny
again?
Fresh?
Can I Manny Fresh? Can I take Lopez again? I know he wasn't, on the thing, but I would love him.
I think with how star-studded this pool is, you don't get the right to phone a friend.
I would like to pick a guy that's not on the list, please. I'm going to go with a position player, and I'm just going to do it because he is it's on a fun team. He's ranked 36 overall in the last 6 weeks, which is a handy, ranking to be. So I'm going to go with Miguel Vargas.
Yeah, nice. Sneaky good pick.
But he's been cold lately. That's the thing.
Well,
but
he had a good... he would have had a good fortnight in the previous Destiny Draft. He would have had 18 points, so...
Yeah, and it was a cold stretch for him. That's what I'm thinking. Since June 1st, he's the 36th best player. So that's a nice little data point.
This is interesting. Man.
Is Mason Miller going to go undrafted? If Mason Miller goes undrafted, we'll never see a reliever get drafted again.
Well, I mean, I was looking up his stats from the last fortnight, and he had 6 appearances, but he only scored 11 points. So it's like 6 appearances over 2 weeks is a lot.
Yeah, but you're only getting 3 points there for the innings completed, right? So
that's it.
Yeah,
and if he gets a save and he only strikes out 1, it's kind of a useless outing for you. So, yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm toying with here.
If you don't,
I think I've got to take Mike. I think I've got to take Michael Harris.
Yeah,
funny Mike.
Man, I had him teed up too.
And I think on the turn, I'm going to take a guy that's been pretty hot as well and go with Cole Young.
Nice.
So give me Harris and Young, a couple of top 100 players for the year.
Good DD knowledge. I mean, these aren't superstar names. When we started doing this before the Genie built the database, we were taking guys like Byron Buxton and Aaron Judge, and now we're diving niche with some of these low strikeout guys who just keep it ticking over.
Yeah, and you know what? In the theme of like just trying to pick a guy that maybe you wouldn't expect to do well in those kind of off-name, not big-name guys, I'm going to go with a guy who his team's been struggling a little bit, but I feel like he's due to have a big couple weeks because he hasn't really had too many yet. And you just know if you don't pick him, he's going to have those big weeks. So I'm going to pick a guy named Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
There it is.
He's kind of like he's a little known guy. He's only hit 6 homers this year, so he's not exactly like a
small money contract.
Small money contract,
Small market.
But you know what? I'm going to have to take a swing at some point. I was really hoping that Michael Harris would have fallen to me here, but I think Vladdy. Look, the Jays are desperate, right? Like, if they don't turn their season around now, it's never going to happen. And if they turn their season around, it's because Vladdy's figured something out. We've been saying this for the whole year. It's the biggest 10 days of the season for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Vladdy always goes nuclear at some point in the season. I'm hoping it's now.
Well, given that, I'm kind of getting lost in the list here, trying to find the right player for my last pick because everyone seems to pick the ones
this time of the draft.
And trying to cross-reference who's actually active right now is making things a little bit more difficult. But it'll
give it to you on the database, JT. If you type it into the database, it'll tell you whether or not they're active.
And I've been going through that, and Mike Trout keeps coming up, and I know that's not the sexy pick right now, but given who's left on the board, it's getting to be slim pickings just because I've already picked two pitchers. So, and Vladdy was going to be my safe pick if Eric didn't go with him. So,
safe.
I think, and Michael Harris is off too. So I think I am going to have to go Mike Trout, just hoping that my pitchers can really pick up the slack here.
Yeah, if Mike Trout doesn't strike out a lot, could potentially go ballistic and win it for you. The problem with Mike Trout is he'll have these 2 weeks where you look at on the Destiny draft in this stretch and you're like, oh my God, this guy's the GOAT. He's an MVP. He's like 2 for 4 every game. And then some weeks you're like, man, he went 1 for his last 21 with 11 strikeouts. Great. So it's like Vladdy, like what Mike Trout are you going to get? But we're kind of left in this spot here, JT.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the range over the last just July, he's only got 7 hits, and he was over 3 today. So you could get the all-star that we all know and love, but hey, that's part of the game.
Well, who are the Angels playing?
The Cardinals. So
you can lock in Mike Trout to go 9 for 16 over the next 3 days with like 2 walk-off winning homers.
I'm not going to watch the games this week, guys. What to do?
All right. Look, people who listen to this show a lot know I like to gamble, and this will clearly be a gamble. He has been atrocious last 3 weeks. He's 820th in all of Destiny Draft. He's down to 153rd on the season, which also isn't great. But he was a member of my round 1 winning team with 29 points. He's my favorite player in baseball. Might be the first time we've ever drafted or ever had someone draft the same player for a second time. Could be wrong on that. Look, 22 minutes ago, breaking news. Corbin Carroll's day-to-day with an elbow injury and should be potentially in the lineup tomorrow. I'm going to do it, boys. I'm going to gamble with the little asterisk there that if he goes on the IL before games start tomorrow, I'll repick because we've had that done already this season. I think there's every chance this backfires spectacularly for me. It often does when I go heart over head. Not only is he potentially injured, he's also been terrible. So the only thing that makes this a sexy pick is that I like him. But yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to go with Corbin Carroll to round out my team.
You did mention a good point of clarity on the rules on the sacred book of Destiny Draft. If he is on the IL before the games, like you said tomorrow, you will get to repick. If he goes on the IL 1 inning after 1 minute after first pitch of when that Arizona Diamondbacks game is, then you're stuck with them. And we've had 2 cases of that. Obviously, the Canary benefited big time by a late injury, got to do a swap with Ellie, all of that stuff. On the flip side, I got screwed last week because I picked a guy that was in a similar boat to you here. And Buxton didn't play for like 6 games. He came back, played twice, then went on the IL. I'm not complaining, right? I knew the rules. That's just what happened, right? That's the risk that you take, but I'm just making it clear for the listeners when Spoon inevitably comes back crying in first place saying, why didn't
Yeah, I've touched the hot pot and gone, why did it burn me? To clarify further, it's got to be the first pitch of any game tomorrow because I can't go back to the pool if Philly is playing and, Trey Turner's already hit 2 home runs and said, yeah, I'll take his 5 points. So when we wake up here tomorrow in Oz, if Corbin Carroll's on the IL, I'll be redrafting and I will take Trey Turner if it does come to that, just so that we're being fully transparent. But yeah, if he spends the week pinch hitting off the bench because his swing isn't right, then I am an idiot and it does what it says on the label.
Well, go ahead and give us the full teams there, Squint. I'll tell you one guy that's probably stiff to not get picked is Jonathan Aranda. Like he's a guy that I was looking at, but he's probably one that we keep an eye on the undrafted leaderboard. That is, of course, unless Corbin Carroll's on the on the IL. You decided to take a Ronda instead of Trey Turner tomorrow. But recap the four teams for us before we head out.
Sure. So picking first, we had Team Rollsy kick things off with, look, he's been manifesting this for so long. I need to get you around sometime when I'm doing like Pokemon pack openings and you just say Charizard over and over again, because you put Mizorowski into this pack and I can't be convinced otherwise.
Didn't Mizorowski have a Charizard card in his All-Star game glove?
Yeah. Big Pokemon guy, Mizorowski. Yeah. He had like the Gengar cleats a few weeks ago as well. That was sick. Mizorowski as your pitcher, and then a couple of position players. Really nice sneaky picks. Michael Harris II and Cole Young. Team Eric picked one of my guys, Chase Burns. Hopefully that's not going to, bring some proverbial confetti around those preseason bets on Chase Burns, but we'll wait and see how that goes. And then hitting, he's got both Miguel Vargas and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. JT's team, he's got Paul Skeens and JT Ginn, two really good pitchers that probably both would have gone a little bit earlier if they were making 3 starts, but with 2 starts each, going to need maximum value. And then Mike Trout, probably the flashiest name of the bunch here as far as longevity. But as we said, it's which version of Trout turns up. And I've got Brian Wu, which I'm okay with, Juan Soto, which I'm stoked with, and Corbin Carroll, which I'll tell you in 14 days how I feel.
How are we feeling? I feel like I've drafted a team like this before, obviously not with Miz at the top, but with, kind of those Moneyball type guys and Michael Harris and Cole Young, because you're right. Like a year ago when we're doing this, neither of those guys are probably getting drafted, but because you're able to sort of dwell on the database and see how they've performed, I mean, those are guys that just steady tick over. So I need to finish somewhere that's not third or last. So hopefully Big Miz can get me there with 3 starts, or I break him and it means that the NL Central becomes more interesting. I don't know. I guess that's a win-win.
I feel like there's never been a round of Destiny Draft in which I could take Juan Soto at 5. I think I benefited hugely from those big pitcher names being there. And obviously I would have liked a Miz or a Chase Burns over Brian Wu, but to then be able to take Soto before it looped back around, I feel really good about. My season, or my ceiling and floor for the round is purely going to come from Corbin Carroll and his ability to get out there on the park. But look, we'll wait and see. I like to live dangerously.
Well, yeah. And I mean, you prefaced the pick with knowing that it could backfire spectacularly. What was that metaphor you gave us a couple of weeks ago when you escape from the bear den? You don't go back for your hat or something. It feels like you've gone back for your hat. Well,
yeah,
look,
it's just a
nice
it's
hat,
a
though.
D-backs. It's a D-backs fedora.
Pretty good hat.
Yeah. Well, look, you can head to baseballexpats.com and click on Destiny Draft to follow throughout the week. And we'll hear from JT later in the week to see how he is feeling. And, what maybe Mike Trout has a career fortnight. And the listener spot's been hot. So take heed in the team that JT's put together. JT, thanks for being with us, brother. I know it's sort of getting late in your neck of the woods, Central Time Zone in the U.S., but thanks for hopping on.
I enjoyed doing it, guys, and weekly listener. So I look forward to seeing how I do this week, and maybe we can push Andrew further down to the basement this weekend.
Please, Christ!
It's not trying to get the listener to the top. It's just ensure Rollsy's suffering continues. I like it.
Shit on Rollsy. That's like me. I'm trying to back up out of my driveway, and there's like a bunch of bikes coming by, and I wait until the bikes all pass, and like the last one kicks my truck. That's what that just felt like. Anyways, head to baseballexpats.com, follow on through the week, and we'll get a recording from JT to see how he's feeling later in the week when we're back on the weekend pickoff. We will have one episode before that, though. It'll drop Wednesday, Australia time, where we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming Women's Baseball World Cup. We'll talk some trade deadline stuff as well. But until then, enjoy your week, enjoy your baseball. Bye, everybody.